How do I know if this thing is attached? I guess it is. Hey folks, welcome, bienvenidos, and wagwan. I know it's been a while. It's been a while since I've been on here, a little bit over a year, so there's a lot that's been happening. There's a lot that's been happening, so I just wanted to sit down and talk to you guys today. Really talk about breaking into tech and like what that looks like in this time. It's a very trying time, but here we go. So this wouldn't be a breaking into tech video without addressing the elephant in the room, which is the mass layoffs that have been happening over the course of the year, a little bit since the end of 2022 going into 2023. We're still dealing with it now, with some companies laying off upwards of thousands of people, whole departments. And it's not just, marketing and sales and HR being affected. It's also the engineering departments, the product departments. Everybody getting it, honey. Everybody. It's really
a trying time for your girls. The girlies are having a hard time. But
my heart goes out to anybody who has been affected by any of the layoffs. First and foremost, I have to say that first. If you have been affected by the layoffs, my heart goes out to you. And I understand completely where you're coming from, and I'm so sorry. But it is not the end. It is not the end. It's just a transition. That's what I like to look at it as. A lot of people have like theories on it, saying that, they're trying to fire everybody so that we can get people back into the office. Other people are saying that they want to fire people to hire again at lower rates. There's just so many things. There's so many thoughts and ideas behind the reasoning of the layoffs. And it's a very difficult time for a lot of people, because there aren't people being let go because of performance. They're being let go because, they're just being let go. So there's that to think about. Then there's also the rise of AI. AI is like a big thing. If you don't know what AI is, AI stands for artificial intelligence. And if you haven't heard, I'm sure you've already heard about ChatGPT. And ChatGPT doing all the things for the girls. ChatGPT is low-key taking over the world, but we're going to get to that maybe in another video. A lot of people are afraid that their jobs are going to be replaced by AI. AI is good, but we're not there yet. But that's a whole nother point. That's a whole nother video. So is it still worth breaking into tech? Here's the thing. I really hate to answer a question with a question, but we got questions. We have questions first. We can't just jump right into it and say yes or no, because that answer is going to be highly subjective and very dependent on your circumstances. But before we do that, I think the question that you have to ask yourself is, what is the reason that you want to break into tech? Are you somebody that has considered themselves a techie for a while? Do you have a specific financial situation that you're trying to get out of? Is it something that you're just interested in, or in 5 years you can see yourself working for a tech company? What's your why? I used to hate when people ask that question, but it's so important. Know your why, like know your reasoning for doing a specific thing. Sometimes when our back is against the wall, as humans, we tend to just, you don't cognitively think about certain things the same way you would if your back wasn't against the wall. But when you're in a particularly hard place, like, you know, if you're in between roles, you're experiencing some financial hardships, switching into a new career can definitely help that. No matter where you are, it does benefit you to take some time out to figure out, okay, like, why do I want to do this? Let me just say this. I feel like people, when they talk about know your why, they want you to create a why that is presentable. They want you to create a why that you can say in an interview. Have two whys, if that's the case. Have a professional looking why where it's like, you know, you can tell this to a stranger or you could tell this to an interviewer and not be judged. And then you can have your own personal why that you keep to yourself. And your own personal why should be something that you tell yourself when things get particularly hard. For example, if you've applied for your 500th job, you've been through 60 interviews, however, whatever the numbers look like, and things get particularly hard and you start to ask yourself, like, is this even worth it? Should I even be entertaining this? Is this even worth it? Your personal why should be one sentence, 1 to 2 sentences max. I wouldn't go over 2. 1 to 2 sentences that you can tell yourself that will automatically put you in a place to say, yeah, I got to keep going. Yeah, you're right. Got to keep pushing. Gots to see it through, my boy. That's what your personal why should be. Your professional why would lean more so on your soft skills. Meaning, like, I really love the art of solving problems, the art of communication. I love being able to work on products that I myself have used to make an impact on a specific underrepresented area. There you go. That's your professional why. Your personal why is, I need to get to the bag and I know that this company will help me in that goal. See, they're both true. One is safe for one audience, which is you, and the other is for the other audience. But anyway, moving on, right? The second thing you need to ask yourself, what are your goals? Where do you see yourself within the next 3 to 5 years? Where do you see yourself financially, mentally, spiritually, lifestyle-wise? Lifestyle is important, guys. Lifestyle is really important, especially when you're choosing your career, because that is going to be the thing that kind of directly affects your lifestyle. So if your career is not in a great place, it will affect your lifestyle. And once it affects your lifestyle, it'll affect other places, your mental, your emotional capacity, and in some cases, often or not, your physical capacity. When you think about your goals for the next 3 to 5 years, where do you want to be? What do you want to do? Is breaking into tech going to help that? Is all of the work that you plan on pouring into, all the work that you're planning on pouring into pivoting, is that going to help you reach those 3 to 5 year goals? Those are the 2 questions I would ask myself. Why do I want to break into tech? Where I really dig deep on my personal why, my professional why. And then the second thing is, like, where do I see myself? With those questions put aside, here's my personal hot take on if it's worth it to break into tech. Is a yes. Personally, I feel this is like almost prime time to break into tech. And hear me out. Jovonne, why would you even say that? Thousands of people are getting laid off every day. People are having hard times finding jobs. I understand that. So here is where your the subjectiveness comes in. This has a lot to do with where you are in life. What are your circumstances? Everybody is in a very unique position where you can take the time while the industry is like calibrating itself. You can take this time to either learn a new skill or upskill, no matter whether you're in this industry or outside of the industry trying to get in. Now's a very great time to learn a new skill and figure out if you like something. The timing is very unique in the fact that, yes, that people might not be hiring at the rate that you find great, But for every peak, there's a valley. You know what I'm saying? So it's a valley now, but when we're starting to go on the up and up, what goes up must come down and vice versa. Prepare for the upside. That's my take on it. When you look at it in a positive light and you spend less time complaining, well, I shouldn't even say complaining because it is a very real issue, right? And even I've caught myself occasionally complaining, and I can take this time to learn a new skill. I can take this time to upskill in this area, even start a new business. That's a prophecy right there. Some of you should have been some of you need to start your own business, but that's a whole nother conversation right there. But my point is, now's a great time to be prepared for the upside when they do start hiring again, when they do start coming out with more positions, when things start to get better, right? You still want to be able to present yourself as a competitive candidate. And you can't be competitive if you spent your time complaining. I say that with all the love in my heart, I promise. For the most part, for most of us, you pour a lot of your energy, especially your mental energy, into that job. So learning things on the side gets kind of like wacky, especially if you have kids, you have a family, you have a specific living situation. So those things become challenges to us. So now we have nothing but time and opportunity to address those challenges. Like, oh, I did always want to learn about AI. Let me take that moment to go ahead and learn that skill. Next thing you know, you're putting it on your resume. Next thing you know, a recruiter's hitting you up. Or a friend says, oh, I know you've been learning this, and I know you've been sharing your journey on this and that. How about talking to this person at this company who's starting a new team? You never know. You never know where the next opportunity is coming from. Even though I think us as humans, we get very weary of the when. The when bothers us. Like, when are we going to be back to normal? When are we going to be able to have the tech industry be where it was, where you guys were hiring people and at good salaries? The when. When we really should be focusing on what do I want to do next? What do I need to learn? What do I need to upskill in? What can I do with this time that is going to be fruitful in the future? We're really planting seeds for harvest right now. So I'm going to close with this. Breaking into tech now has a lot more to do with perspective than anything else. You telling yourself there's no jobs, and every time I get a job, they pick someone who's a senior, or they pick someone who's better than me. You keep doing the work, and you keep doing you and pouring into yourself. The industry doing what it's doing right now is not an excuse for you not to be working on yourself. And I mean that in and outside of your career. Emotionally, mentally, physically, all the things. That's not an excuse for you to neglect yourself. The fact that the industry is doing what it want to do and being absolutely petty in some ways. I just wanted to really just drop this video to kind of encourage others who are having a hard time during this hard time, and letting you know that your perspective matters. Take a minute, take a break whenever needed, and really just go back and get to the matter of things, and it will happen. It's gonna happen either way. The real question is, are you gonna be prepared for when it happens? I'll talk to you guys soon.